Hey, it's me, Queen Sensitivity, and I'm back today with another Pick a Card Tarot reading. This one should be very chill and low-key. For those who don't know me, I usually do pick a cards or I'll do YouTube shorts, tarot reels, where I give channel messages from source, from God, in whatever form I feel is appropriate at the time. Today's video is titled The Way of the Water. And it is for a reason. I felt very nervous and kind of frustrated today, but I really wanted to see what that was about, why, and I was okay, what form should I do it in? I kept seeing the color blue, and then eventually I heard The Way of the Water. So we're going to be doing it with this bowl, and you will find out more information at the start of each pile. But for now, you can go ahead and pick a pile. Hey, pile number one. So this is going to be a reading today on what you need to know, the way of the water. The first thing we'll be doing is getting this tarot card that I pulled for you. I haven't seen it yet, and this is going to be answering the question, who are you? First things first is this room got pretty hot. I had to turn on the fan. I usually don't like the fan. I also opened the window and lit some sage because I think whoever wants to talk to you, and it'll be, I know I didn't say in the intro that it'll be who wants to talk to you, but there is a part of it because I'm just letting each reading be kind of open. For you, I feel like somebody wants to talk to you. I would say ancestor, but I don't think that would be appropriate. What I'm getting for you is more like Percy Jackson and how he had, his ancestors were like the Greek gods, like they were mythical beings. So it wouldn't really be right to say ancestors, I feel like, in the human sense of the word. There's some holy being that would like to speak to you, and they are very strong. I feel like they might have something to do with heat, perhaps weather, lava, something like that, because it got hot and I can feel that they are huge. So yay, who are you? Aw, the sun. So this is just to make sure you know this is your pile. You could be a fire sign, a Leo, and if it's not your sun sign, it could be one of your rising signs. But I think you tend to be a more chipper person. You might not be a chipper person today, but I do think you have a tendency to revert back to this very bright person. I do think when you were young, you might have had really bright skin. Like when you were a baby, your skin might have been very bright as compared to now. Because it happens a lot when people are babies, they're usually lighter, and then over time they darken to their more, I guess, mature shade. I think that you might find a lot of joy in music, in nature, specifically nature that looks pretty. Because sometimes nature can be like a ravine or a trench, stuff like that. That can be nature. You like nature with wildflowers and a sunny day and nice, neatly cut grass. That's your vibe for nature. I do keep getting this feeling of music with these flowers on the baby's head. Looks like headphones, so you might wear headphones a lot or earbuds. I do think you are fairly loyal, not only because Leo, but because this baby is holding this flag. The color red, I keep hearing Cassidy, is that somebody's name? I don't really know, but the red flag, I'm getting that you aren't afraid to be confident in situations where people have fear. So let's say everybody's afraid of auditioning for a play or something, and you would usually be nervous too, but because everybody else is so intimidated by it, you would take the initiative and go first so you can prove that it's not bigger than you are. You would take that initiative to show people, hey, you can do it too. Look, I'm gonna go do it. I'm not afraid. Or your birth date might have the number 4 in it. 24, 14, April 1994, 1984, 1974, stuff like that. Someone with a 4 in it, or the moon when you were born might have been in like first quarter, or full moon, which would be the fourth quarter. Okay? I think you also have really pretty eyes, or one of your parents has pretty eyes. I think specifically your mother has like very pretty eyes. Okay, so what we're gonna do for this, I was gonna do an overhead shot of the water bowl, but I didn't feel like doing that because I would have had to do this part first, and then I would have had to fix the camera. I don't feel like doing that. I think this time is exhaustive enough. What I'm hearing now is to go ahead and use this, which is a Tibetan bowl, and we're just gonna take this moment to cleanse the space. The sun is very important to you. So basically what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pour this water. It's just clean water. This cup is messy because it's my paint cup, but I'm gonna pour some of it into this bowl. I think that's enough. And you can see it, okay? And then we're gonna use this vanilla extract that I got from the kitchen. I wanted to use something that wouldn't stain the bowl, and so people could continue to eat out of the bowl without fear of toxin. For example, like paint. So I chose something that's natural and that's already edible. I'm gonna get this teaspoon and see what comes out in the shapes. I feel like I should pull my hair back. Let's do this. Let's do this. They want you to let go of your fears. Let go of fears. Just easy enough to say. Okay. Ooh, the wind just blew. You definitely have some sort of lineage connected to the ocean, because the first thing I saw was like this octopus tentacles, which is from The Little Mermaid, Ursula. So maybe Ursula, or whatever creature that you identify with that is similar to her or that she's based off of. And so with you having so much sun and then the sea coming together, there is something about that. Maybe you were born an eclipse between the moon and the sun, or just, again, I think a full moon, because full moon is when the tides are the highest. But then you might also have been born for your sun sign on the sun, or even your rising sign might be a fire sign. So it's something like that, where it's like a lot of water, a lot of sun, a lot of heat, a lot of water. So I do think because of that heat and the liquid, you are a steamy person. You might sweat a lot, or you might not sweat at all. Or people around you, they might get hotter when they're around you. Like they might start sweating. People, if you hold somebody's hand, that person's palm might start perspirating. Then it got like with these little lines in there. I think, like I said before, I think you have this tendency to pack a punch, and then you also mellow out. There's this like nice dynamic with you. Okay, I'm gonna start moving on. So what would you like to, I'm hearing Poseidon potentially. What would you like to say to pot number 1, Poseidon? Time's not up. You need to remember who you are. I just saw the letter H. That might be significant. But time is not up. I feel like they're saying you think might be college, something like that, has a hold on you, and like they tell you what is what, but they don't know what is what. It's you. Like, you are more powerful and more in charge than you think. And I think they wish you would start trying and believing in yourself. They want you to start try to use your superpowers. I know that might sound silly to some people, but we know we do have superpowers. They want you to try to start using those. And you can start by just using the element of water. Do you go swimming? If not, if the answer is no, if you haven't been swimming in a while, you should go. If you can't go swimming, try taking a bath. If you can't take a bath, if you can't take a bath, take a shower. If you can't do that, find some water and toss it on your face. Something. You need to do something where you go into water and you set the intention of having a superpower with that water. It's not so much control as knowing that you are the water. Because if you look now, the vanilla extract is no longer in separation with the water. It's all combined to be one. I think you should do a lot of stuff with water, such as when you can do a lot of spells with water. Pile number 1, do a lot of spells. I think they're saying you can do probably anything, but it could be something so simple as increase my memory so I can study for this exam. And so you put that intention into the water and really sit with it. I think you should sit with water. There's that movie, what's it called? The Ring, where that little girl, she has all those glasses of water around the house. Whoever you would like this to be, Poseidon, Ursula, Octopus King, Octopus Queen, whoever, Aquaman, the king from SpongeBob, Neptune, I think, King Neptune, whoever you want this to be, this being that loves you dearly, and I think kind of views you as like their knight, their child, and they want you, they're like, you're strong, you can do it, like, go do it. Yeah, they want you to be more surrounded by water. And for some of you, you're gonna be like, oh, I already kind of subconsciously do that. You might have a lot of water bottles littered around your space, in your car, in your office, if you have an office. What else? You might take long baths or long showers and people be like, why are you taking so long in the shower? Like, you might be that person. And it's because I'm hearing you can also talk to the water, sit with the water, talk to the water. And you might also have like telepathy with fish. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have fish, or if you can go to a place where there are fish in the pond or lake or river, whatever, creek, just try meditating near them. You don't have to try to force a conversation the same way you wouldn't force a conversation with a human being. You don't know them. Why would you go and just start talking to them? Go and meditate near them. And I bet you your mind will be clearer around fish and stuff like that. Also, running water, I think, will be really good for you. They're just giving you tips for your frustrations if you've been really frustrated, because I heard you were running out of time at the beginning, something like that. So being around a fish tank, boiling water sounds, specifically boiling water sounds or bubbles in water, you know what I mean? Stuff like that can help you a lot, okay? We're gonna see what else. What else would you like them to know? I heard no more running. You don't have to be afraid of them, whoever that is. I'm also seeing a crescent moon, a waxing crescent moon. That might be another good time, or the time when something is coming that's important for you, whatever it is that you're preparing for. Your environment reacts to you. There might be somebody in your space that plays drums. I don't think it's you. I'm hearing that you can change your hearing with water. I don't know what that means, but it's kind of like how when you go underwater, your hearing becomes different. And it's not so much about those loud sounds, like these sharp sounds like that. It's about those sonar sounds. But it's about those, you know, the whales, how they, it's about those sounds. Listen for those sounds rather than these sharp sounds. Even my voice, underwater, if I spoke, it'd be like it would sound like that. Something about that is something that you can do, one of your talents, okay? So, pile number 1, this has been your reading. Thank you so much for being with me. I release you out into the sea. Please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and excuse me, I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile number 2, this is going to be your reading today on what do you need to know, the way of the water. To start off, my upper back started hurting immediately when I finished pile number 1. I saw imagery in my mind of a green goddess, like the goddess from Moana. I'm not sure if she's called a goddess, but green goddesses. And I'm also getting imagery. There was these book series, House of Night. The House of Night, was that it? It's a lot of different books by Cassidy, P.H. Cassidy or something like that. And I think they're mother-daughter books, House of Night series. And there was this character named Aphrodite. You should go check those out. They have a lot of messages in those for you. PC Cast. That's the author of those books. Go check those out. Those, if you don't already know about them, they have a lot of stuff that you'll resonate with. I think that you might have connections with vampires. I think mostly vampires, but also, like I said, like there's this connection with a green goddess, a green angelic being. And I think with you might really like darker things. I don't mean in the sense of like good versus evil, but in the sense of darker lighting. You might like to wear black. You might like to wear black eyeliner, a darker polish on your nails, darker bag. I'm seeing Doc Martens. You might like, I don't want to say maybe tattoos, maybe not. If you like perfume, you like stronger perfumes. If you are a woman or a feminine person, you might like colognes more than you like perfumes. And if you like perfumes, they're the ones that are closer to the toughness of colognes. I think you feel more comfortable in darker and stronger things, like leather might be something that you really are attracted to. And even cars like Mustangs, Chargers, those kind of masculine cars, regardless of your gender. And yeah. Okay, so this first card is going to be Who Are You? If you don't know already, so you can make sure that this is your pile. Oof, you have Ace of Wands. You have the ability to captivate a room. Let me tell you, I think that you do this without trying. If you just walk into a room, any room, people will automatically be aware of your strength and your power. And I do think, it's what I was saying before, it's not about like evil, you know, or like that type of negative attraction. I do think you use your powers for good, so to speak, even though I try not to like be like good and evil, because we all have both aspects of them in us, like the yin and yang. But I do think that you use that attraction that people have for you, and this isn't just, I don't mean sexual attraction, I mean attraction in general. You'll use it for the benefit of others. Like if somebody behind you or in front of you got skipped in line, because you are so seen, you'll speak up or you'll do something to make sure that person gets to be where they justly belong. I think you're very just person, justice. I do think if you aren't already materially wealthy, that you do like luxury. There's an aspect of luxury to you. So you might have a lot of resonance with dragons and as well as vampires. Vampires are notoriously, from my perspective, known to be surrounded in wealth because they've been here forever. And so it's just a matter of collecting it over years. Like that. So I do think you have a preference for wealth. If you didn't know, this could be why. Because of your resonance with vampires, dragons, green goddesses. Aphrodite, I think, is associated with vanity a little bit. I could be mistaken. I could be wrong. I do think you have a great spiritual connection with Source. I think you have fantastic claircognizance. You might be really lucky when you want to be. I think most of the time you kind of stay back, but if you know that if you really tried to, like if you applied for some contest or something, an art contest or a poetry contest, that you would probably win, even if your poem wasn't the best. But just because you have this thing about you that's magnetic, and it's not like mermaid sirens, it's different. There is something, it might be in that book series, the PC cast, House of Night, I think, but it was also in Beautiful Creatures, the books and the movie, where once they turned, depending on if they were, which caster they turned into, the dark caster or the good caster, and they showed the example of the dark caster, and immediately when she turned under the full moon, like people were just magnetized to her. Like they willingly walked onto train tracks. That's the kind of thing I mean. Like if you really wanted to, you could turn it on and win. And I think because of this, you might tend to stay out of competitions. You might have avoided sports for a while, like in that movie Incredibles, where Dash really wanted to run track, and they were like, we don't know about that, because he has this natural ability where he's better than everybody just naturally at track, at running, at speed. And so while he was running, his parents would be like, oh, slow down, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, go, 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 go. Like this thing, because they know how good he is. And I feel like that might be something that you do. Like you might be really good at volleyball or softball or soccer or golf or something like that. It could be anything, drawing, poetry, as I said before, singing, and you might refrain from doing it to the extent that you could because you know subconsciously or consciously that it would be unfair. Okay, so I'm gonna do a cleanse of this bowl real quick before we get into your Way of the Water channel messages. Okay, I think your messages will be mostly from witches or your higher self, your past life self, because I do think you're fairly connected with yourself. So I have vanilla extract. Okay. This just left a little waning crescent moon on the table. Pour this in. So you've definitely had past lives. I think pretty much everybody has, but I think yours play a larger role than most people, or you're more aware. I think since you were a child, you might have had these moments of deja vu where you feel like you've been there before. Let's say as a kid, you went on a trip to some place you've never been, let's say Salem, Massachusetts, and you felt like, I've been here before. Like, I know where to go. I've turned this way. I know that there's this place over there. Just that sense of familiarity. On this bowl, don't know if you can see it, but there's a drop right here that isn't with the rest. I feel like you might have this thing about you where you are an observer, you feel like, more so than a participant. And you also may have this feeling that you are constantly being watched, not in like a creepy way. Maybe at first you thought it was creepy, but I think now you've come to resonance and accept it. I do think this could be a spirit guide of yours or some sort of ancestor in the form of a crow or a raven, a blackbird. It could be any blackbird, but I think they mostly choose to show up as crows or ravens, because this could be, what other birds are black? I don't know. But there are other bird species that they have darker colors, if not black, dark gray, like always just watching you, this feeling of like somebody else is in the room. I hope I'm not creeping you out. If I am, just leave this video. You don't have to keep watching it. But I do think you already know this and you don't feel threatened by it because it's not a threat. They're actually there to protect and advise you. If you ever wondered what that was, I'm hearing this could be one of your grandmothers. Could even be a grandfather, because witches are both, it doesn't discriminate between genders. Could even be a non-binary person. I am leaning towards a feminine person with tendencies, like I said about you, to be more masculine, like a tomboy. I don't know if that word's offensive or not, but tomboy vibe, okay? So what else would you like to tell? Pile number, oh, it looks I think they're saying I love you. What else? Telling me to do it like this. Mushrooms might be really good for you to eat. If you ever hear like creaking or like sounds like that, or if you're comforted by sounds like that, I think that's them. And that's how they speak. I honestly feel like they're not trying to be up to pose any sort of threat or anything. That's just how they speak. And we've kind of been conditioned in society to fear certain things, but you know, things that are pretty and talk with a very angelic voice cannot be good for you. So it's just a matter of personal discernment. And I think with you, this ancestor or version of yourself from a past life is around just to guide you and protect you. What else? I think Valentine's Day will be important. They might show up on that day. What else? They're kind of silent. What else do you want pile number 2 to know? I think they said follow the path. If you go running, if you take walks, they want you to follow the path. Okay? I think they're fairly private because you might already talk to them. Yeah. Okay? I think you also might have a fairly high libido. I don't know if I said that. Pile number 2. But okay, this has been your reading. This is all I have for you right now. If you like readings like this, comment and let me know. You can support me by donating to my channel or follow me on Instagram. All these things help for me to be able to do more videos like this. So yeah, if you want more, that's more. I'm also doing personal readings. If you're interested in that, you just DM me or email me. And both of those will be in the description below. But have a great day or night. Enjoy yourself. Bye. Hey, Pile 3. This is going to be a reading today on what do you need to know, messages from the water, the way of the water. You are the group that is thinking about love, romantic love. I felt that immediately. Whew. And then there's also a delivery truck outside my window. So you're waiting for a message, or you just got a message, or you're waiting to send a message, which is fine. I picked up these crystals, which are ruby, and I don't know the name of this one, but it's obviously to do with the throat chakra. And I also feel like establishing peace and prosperity. Peace, prosperity, what you yearn for is a softness. So maybe you're trying to create a softness, a vulnerability, a vulnerable space between you and your person. That's your goal. So first, we're going to start off this reading by reading this tarot card. It's answering the question, who are you? So you can know if this is your reading or not. And then we'll get into the water part, which has been lovely so far. I like working with water. Okay? Aww. See, Five of Cups. You are worried about some sort of connection, and I feel like it might be this kind of stalemate where you're wanting to send them a message, or if you have, you're waiting for them to reply to you. This could be a message in any form, voice, face-to-face, text message, message on a social media platform, mail. Some people still write letters. This is kind of really sad. I feel like what you're missing, what you don't understand is that hope and success is kind of inevitable. You see these two cups, you're looking at these that fell over, but these two, and it's two, a couple, are fine behind it. I think what you really need to work on, and this is just, you don't have to listen to me, but this is what I'm getting to tell you. This is what I'm sensing to tell you, is that it's not a matter of the idea of you and this person working out. It's a matter of you getting it through your head that you cannot fail. That is what's needed. I cannot fail. There is no such thing as failure, especially when you talk about divine connections, because it's like no matter what happens in the 3D, you and that person's souls are tied and you love each other soul wise. So there is no reality ever that exists where that isn't true, because the souls are beyond life and death. Death is only existent in the 3D. It doesn't exist with your soul. You live forever. So that's the part, and I think that's the reason why this discord is occurring, not because you aren't meant to be together, but to teach you this lesson. Your soul is ready to learn this lesson. That's what you need to know. You need to turn around forever and get rid of this idea that it could not be, because it always is, it always was. There's no beginning and there's no end, which they said in the Avatar movie, The Way of the Water. The water was there before you were born, and it will be there after. And you know why? Because that water is a metaphor for life. It doesn't stop, it's continuous. There's no such thing as ending. Okay? So take a moment with that. First thing I'm going to do is clear the space with this Tibetan singing bowl. So it is done. Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been getting channeled messages. I think yours will be from your person potentially, or from your higher self. Ooh, there's this piece of my red hair in here. Maybe your person has red hair, or I'm hearing like a red cat, which would be just an orange cat, or I don't know, there's something very close between you and this person proximity wise. Like they might have something of yours, if you can hear my dog, loyalty, something of yours with them that they keep close. And vice versa, you might have something of theirs that you keep close. Okay, this is vanilla extract. Vanilla, I believe, I could be wrong, has a lot of healing properties. I remember watching Magnolia Table with Joanna Gaines, and she was saying how she and Chip, her husband, her partner, had said like the vanilla bean, like who discovered that first? Because it looks like nothing. It looks like this little thread of garbage, but it's the sweetest thing. Like who found this and was like, oh, this is gonna help? And I feel like what your situation looks like right now is a vanilla bean. They look dirty, they look like roots, they look like something you just walk past. But in fact, it's vanilla beans. We know all about vanilla. Vanilla is very popular all around the world, I believe. And I feel like it just does so much greatness, so much good stuff, brings people so much comfort with its aroma. And it can't ever not be that, regardless of what people see it as. Ooh, I poured a lot. This is the first time that's happened. Aw, I feel like they have a lot to say. Aw, I know some of you might have children. If you don't have children, you have pets that you have together, or you know, you have connection through those animals or that animal, and they miss you, or you miss them through the animal. I think it's more them. They miss you through that animal. When they think about animals, when they see that animal or an animal like that, think about you. I'm feeling like they saying you broke their heart, kind of. Regardless if you think this or not. Getting that song Betty from the Folklore album by Taylor Swift. It was finally the perspective, the whole album we heard this perspective of the girlfriend and the mistress. Finally, at the end of the album, we hear the perspective of the male, James, or, you know, whatever, because I don't think she gives gender. Maybe she does, I don't know. But we hear the perspective of James, and I'm going to say he, was saying that, yeah, you saw me leave the dance. You saw that I didn't show up, Betty. But you didn't see that when I came in, I saw you dancing with somebody else. I saw you dancing with this other guy or something like that. Like, you didn't see that part. Go listen to Betty. Because I feel like that's what they're saying. Like, you might have it that they hurt you, but they're heartbroken over you just as much. There's these little splattered bits of vanilla here. Like, they're kind of a little all over the place. If they haven't responded, that might be why. They might have a lot of stuff they have to do in their lives. And also they just might be having a hard time forming a coherent train of thought that they could give you. You know, if somebody wants to give you something, they're like, oh, I don't have the ingredients. I have to go get them. They're kind of messy right now. I also feel like there's a sense of a fear of time, or even if they have time to like have this conversation, it's not long enough. Let's say they only have an hour break, or they only have 2 hours after or before work or whatever they do to a free time, and they're like, that's not enough time to get across what I would like to get across. And so it keeps taking longer and longer, and you see it as, oh, they're just avoiding. Why can't we just have this moment? No, it's that they want to give themselves and you as much time as you deserve for this connection to be fully talked about. Some of you, I feel, watching this and this resonates for you, might be hanging on to my every word. And I feel like the point of this time now, as I mentioned earlier with this card, it's not about whether me, Queen Sensitivity, if I know what I'm talking about, if your person knows what they're talking about. It's about you. And there are some things that you already know for sure with absolute certainty that you keep denying yourself that. Of, like, you keep saying, like, let's say you know that you're meant to be with this person, but you keep thinking, well, maybe not. What if this happens? What if we know this is coming, and this stuff is fake. Everything outside of you is mute. It doesn't matter. What matters is you. Let's say, for example, this is a paintbrush. But it's only a paintbrush because I say it's a paintbrush. If you watch shows, like for example, The Owl House, where they find human objects, this could be a poker. This could be something that you use to stir with, because they don't know the meaning of it, and so they assign new meaning to it. That's what I mean by nothing outside of you exists until you say that it does. That is what's important here. That is a lesson that is being preached to you by yourself. You've assigned this lesson to your soul. This looks like an eye. I think that is another message. I, you, and also your person's eye is on you. I think they look at you or think about you. For some of you, this person, I don't think you want to get back with them, but you still want to have this conversation. This will just be for some of you. Just skip this if it doesn't apply. And I think for some of you, this person name will start with an E if this is your little space. Because they might look like they want somebody else, just like in the James Betty Augustine time triangle. If you know folklore, then you know. If you don't know, then you can go look it up. The Betty, James, Augustine, Augusta, something like that. Love triangle. It might be somebody else involved that your person seems to be attracted to or, wants, but their eye is on you. This is only for some people, not everybody. If this is, I think just either way, your person is sorry. There's this little feather in here. Don't know how it got in here, but I think that just goes to show, like an eyelash. Some people make wishes off the fallen eyelashes. They wish they could go back and not do something, or do something all again. Be better, do something better, have a second chance, something like that. They're hoping that you will give it to them. Eyelash could also be a wink, I think, because it looks like a crescent wink. And I think they might be winking like, it looks like I'm silent, but I'm not. Like, it looks like it's over, but it's not. Okay? I think this is going to be all for your reading. Pile number 3. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this has been your reading, pile number 3. Be blessed. I wish you the best in your journey. Please leave a comment if this resonated. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile number 4. This is going to be your reading today on what do you need to know right now, the way of the water. Yeah, I'm just going to get your first card, which is going to tell us who you are to make sure this is your pile. But first, I just want to talk about how you are the purple pile. And I just heard I don't want to go to war anymore. And there's this sense about you that is very sensible. I think you're over a lot of stuff. I think you're over these fake, false ideas of, oh, there's suffering in the future. People that I respect and look up to will say often, there's no pain outside of, like, there's nothing but the now. And I think what our world thrives on a lot of the times is fears from the past and fears of the future. And you, my dear, you remind me of Cruella. You remind me of Cruella and other female characters that seem like villains, but then when you know later on, you understand that they just knew something you didn't. And I feel like you know something that people don't. And I feel like there might be this sense from people around you that they can't relate to you anymore. And I feel like you used to fear that. You used to fear being in your truth all the way out of fear of being alone because it's isolating. I would know. I feel like all of us would know. Whenever you like step into your truth, there's this fear that people will not reciprocate or accept that. But I feel like you have unfolded the veil, and you can see now that there's nothing to fear. Like all the things that you've been taught your whole life to be afraid of, they don't really exist. And it's not to say that poverty doesn't exist, and starvation and illnesses and all these other things don't exist, because they do. But you also are seeing that whatever is happening right now, that is all you have. It's not, you don't need to worry about if in the future this could happen to me, or in the past this happened to me, so I need to be thinking about it right now. You understand, nothing exists except for right now. Literally, like, it doesn't exist. And I feel like that's something that, if you don't know that that's what you've been thinking, I'm telling you now, as Queen Sensitivity, this is what's been happening. And I say Cruella, I know some people were upset about the new movie with Emma Stone. She doesn't use puppy fur. So that whole theory about like, oh, we should hate her because she's cruel to puppies. She never hurt a piece of fur on their head. She didn't hurt the puppies at all. That never happened in the movie. So yeah, okay. See? I was right. Look, I haven't looked at any of these cards that I've had for the piles, but I've been spot on. And it's because I am connected to everything around me. So why wouldn't I know these cards? That's how you've been thinking with the Magician. Like, there's no like mystery outside of yourself, because you are mystery itself. It's just a matter of remembering. Yeah, I feel like you've realized all the cards are on your table, and that you have the ability to create your reality. And I don't mean that you can control what happens, although you probably could to some extent. It's a matter of not letting things have power over you. So you could ride a bike to a park. The bike could get a flat tire. Doesn't mean that that situation has to have control over your mood. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean like, oh, I can never go anywhere. I can never make it to places. Every time I try to go somewhere, something happens and I can't go. You don't have to think like that. You're like, oh, the tire is popped. Must mean I'm about to get a free ride from somebody. Like, you can think like that. Oh, here's a chance to call this person to help me. You know, you can change the narrative to whatever you want it to be. And it's interesting because pile 3 was struggling with this. So I wonder if some of you are future incomers from pile 3s. Like, if you're watching this now in the future, which doesn't exist, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remembered I chose pile 3 the first time I came across this video. I don't know, something like that. I feel like you are more open to time travel because you realize that it's not such a far-fetched theory if time doesn't exist at all. It's not that hard. There was this kid yesterday that kept asking me that. He was like, can you time travel? Can you time travel? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. He's like, go back into the past right now. Go back and do something. And I'm like, well, I already did. You know what I mean? If it's in the past, then, and I was already there, then I already traveled to the past. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably don't. I don't really care. Like, I'm taking on your persona For of the piles, I always did the Tibetan bowl first, but I felt with you it was important to pour it first, and I saw like the webs that water can make, you know, when it makes the movement, it makes those little webs of connectedness. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cleanse this space with Tibetan bowl, one strike. Okay. So as I said about the little waves that I saw, you're realizing the interconnectedness of everything and the power of your thoughts. I remember, let's say that, oh, this is a good one with cars. You meet somebody you really like and they have a white car. Now, everywhere you go, you keep seeing that same white car. And you start to wonder, were there already these many white cars in my area? Or are they just now around because now that's what you think? And I'm sure there are a lot of theories on that. But I like to think that we pull those things into our realities with our thoughts, because that's so much cooler. It sounds so much cooler than like, oh, I thought of the reason that you're singing now is because your attention is more focused on there. But who's to say both can't be true at the same time? Why are they mutually exclusive? And it's because they're not. I think you're realizing, because this looks like a brain. These are channel messages, and I think these are just going to be little confirmations for you for your channel messages. This looks like a brain, and I feel like what you're getting is that things are much simpler than they seem. See, it's a big channel message when I burp. And what I mean, and what you mean by that, is when things get simpler, humongous issues and things become simpler and they become more accessible. I think Dr. Seuss has this quote where it's like, sometimes the hardest problems have the easiest answers. Something like that. Like, it's so simple. When you stop thinking in terms of all these rules that you've been taught, then you can see all these little things connecting this one string of truth. I think your skin might be getting clearer and that you might benefit from drinking clearer liquids, such as water, or teas with like a lighter appearance. So not such potent teas. I think water in general, drinking more water will help you a cleaner palate, paying more attention to like what you consume and making sure that it's a cleaner palate in whatever way that means for you. I think will be beneficial. If you wear makeup, wearing more like skin looking makeup, because some people when they wear makeup it looks like just their skin. Wearing makeup like that. If you wear jewelry, wearing jewelry that's just clear, like the diamond sparkle, nothing. Don't wear so many colors with your accessories and stuff. I think maybe even like very gentle, soft perfumes, stuff like that is what I'm getting advice for you. You don't have to take it. There keeps being these little vibrations of the water versus me moving it around. And I feel like you're doing a good job of being a messenger rather than a commentator or a procrastinator or judging things. You're saying, I see what's happening. It's not mine, so I'm letting it go. It's like those things when they tell you when you're a child. I don't know, people told me this once or twice. But it's like, if somebody's like, hey, hey dog, like come here, and you don't respond. If that's not your name, if your name isn't dog, then why would you respond? It's obviously not for you. So you are free to keep on walking. That's your attitude. That's the message I'm getting from this. Like if somebody calls you or approaches you with something that you don't identify with, if it's not love and you don't connect with it, then you don't have to respond in a way that takes ownership of that. I don't have to own what you are bringing to me because it's not mine. Whatever you've got going on is projecting out around you, but it doesn't mean it's mine to pick up. And there's this feeling of like, it's not so much like just letting people push you around, because you do stand up for yourself, but it's also not letting people push you around emotionally. When things come up around you that you don't agree with, my eyes are kind of burning now. I don't know why. That you don't agree with, you aren't jumping in to have an intense conversation with them to make it agree with you. You're just like, it's not mine. Lost and found. It ain't mine. Send it back, okay? I think you might really like lipstick around this time. You might want to go watch movies like Devil Wears Prada, Cruella. Keep seeing you see these little things in the water? These little lines of light. I think you're a light worker, and I think you might even benefit from different types of light, because they have light therapy in some hospitals and healing institutions where they use different rooms of light to heal patients, such as the color blue or the color red. Different colors lights, maybe purple for you, because I said at the beginning, stimulate different things. If you don't have access to making those lights or those places, you can do the frequencies of those colors. For example, the frequency of the color purple. I saw something up. So I think you also have angelics around you. You can look up archangel associated with the color purple. I'm hearing Prudence. Don't know who that is. Prudence, Patricia. Maybe that's a saint or something. Saint Patricia. I think what you will benefit most from is just trying to be as healthy as possible. And this is whatever way you see fit. Don't listen to what other people tell you. Listen to what you think about what other people tell you. Because healthy for a lot of people means different things. But I think that'll help you upgrade and ascend, raise your vibration anymore, is really clearing out your field in whatever way that you see fit. Could be using more selenite to cleanse your spaces. Selenite is this clear white color. That's what I mean. Wearing more whites, drinking water, getting crystals that are white. What's it called? Like clear quartz, stuff like that. Cleansing your space, eating, drinking, consuming cleansed food. And this could be done simply by making sure you set the intention for what you consume to be as clean as possible. I think that'll help you, benefit you a lot. Okay? This has been your reading, pile number 4. Thank you for being here with me. I am honored. I am honest about me being honored. I think the purple dragon, whatever that means for you, maybe go look up the purple dragon. It will be beneficial. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.